It's week 5 of the National Football League as the New York Giants take the field here at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Two NFC teams, both coming off their bye week. It's the Giants and the Seahawks on Fox. And a good afternoon. A 62-degree afternoon here in northern New Jersey. It rained overnight. As the 3-0 Giants get set to kick off to the 1-2 Seattle Seahawks. Giants 2-0 at home this season. Last year, they won only 3 home games.
It's amazing, you know, it's a different dynamic for this team to start the 08 season, and we'll get into some of those topics as the game progresses, but it's just shocking what the Giants were able to pull off last season with that home record, being able to go on the road and win the way they did. But they're getting their business taken care of at home this season, which is very important.
You know how that confidence is, Moose. When you win a Super Bowl, you come back the next year, boy, your confidence could be. You guys had it in Dallas, we had it in Baltimore, and now the Giants have it here in New York.
And it is carried over to the 2008 season. The oldest player in the NFL, 44-year-old John Carney, gets things started. Josh Wilson on the return for the Seahawks, and Wilson stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. A 19-yard return. Reuben Drone.
The Giants are going to want to bring pressure. Matt's going to want to try and find that play. This will be entertaining to watch.
Seahawks start from the 30 on first down. The pass is caught by Deion Branch, making his return. He suffered a knee injury in the NFC Divisional Playoff.
Seattle in week 2, and they didn't have those guys, and Matt Hasselbeck was trying to work with guys who just came in, and there's Antonio Pierce wearing that radio. I really don't think he needs that radio. He knows this defense so well.
17-yard pickup on first down, and this time Hasselbeck looking for the other receiver returning to the Seahawks lineup, Bobby Engram.
I'll tell you what.
3 wide receivers set on second and 10. This is Julius Jones, and Jones, who has had back-to-back 100-yard games, enters Giants territory, a gain of 5.
One of the weapon passing situation is because the Seahawks have great confidence in their run game. If all those blitzers are coming on the same level, they might pop it for a big one.
3 receivers set, 3rd down and 5. Hasselbeck over the top. Billy McMullen, the intended receiver. Good coverage from the left corner, Aaron Ross.
Billy McMullen has got to work his way back to the ball. Oh, that is something that the Seahawks defense, or this offense, cannot have right there as Matt Hasselbeck down. Let's go to Billy McMullen first. You've got to work back to your quarterback. Aaron Ross just comes in. You got to take that extra step back, get your hands on the ball. We'll see what happened to Matt Hasselbeck back in the pocket here. He's got Fred Robbins coming in kind of high, and then he's got somebody down low around his knees. Looks like he hyperextended a little bit. It was Justin Tuck, number 91, coming in low. Fred Robbins hit him high. He thinks they were checking the ACL ligament, the anterior cruciate ligament in that knee. So we keep our fingers crossed that Matt Hasselbeck can come back.
John Ryan punting to R.W. McQuarters. Fair catch called for back at the 9-yard line. 39-yard kick by Ryan. Bad news right at the start for the Seahawks. Eli Manning and the Giants start from their own 9-yard line. Off the play fake to Brandon Jacobs. Manning with time. The catch is made by Jacobs. Fends off the first tackle attempt by Julian Peterson. And is finally brought down after gaining 7.
That offensive line of the New York Giants is really where everything begins. They're very, very good in the run game. You saw the protection that Eli Manning had on that last pass, and there's an example of it. He's not forcing the ball downfield, checks it down to Brandon Jacobs coming out of the backfield. Some real good positive yards on first down.
3 wide receivers, Giants shifting. Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs picks up a first down out to the 24-yard line. Gain of 6. Julian Peterson made the tackle.
I would not want to have to be tackling Brandon Jacobs during the course of the afternoon. He is such a big, physical running back, and boy, these guys are really going to have their hands full. Wesley Millard, he's there with Lofa Tatupu wearing that communication device. You have to go through the dynamics if you've got one on the field, one off the field. So that same position controls the communication.
From the 24, this is Jacobs again. Brandon Jacobs across midfield, one man to beat. And Brian Russell is able to wrap up Jacobs and bring him down after Jacobs gains 44 yards.
Well, Goose, you can't draw this one up any better. Just a great job by everybody up front. Your guards pulling around. Rich Seibert, Chris Snead, look at those blocks there. They create that cavity for Brandon Jacobs to get through. And here comes 6'4", 264 into the secondary, untouched. They can't have that happen.
I'll tell you what, they did a great job of coming around the corner and sealing that corner off for Brandon Jacobs. Great pull by both of those offensive linemen.
Longest run of Jacobs' career. Biggest offensive play for the Giants this season. Manning, Dominic Hickson, touchdown. There is a flag.
I think it's going to be on Kelly Jennings. I think that's going to stand.
Giants do a great job of having the momentum on that big long run.
Contact, number 21 on the defense. Finishes the drive, and both the plays a touchdown.
And then just come right back with a big play downfield.
Well, there's your guy filling in for Plaxico Burress, Dominic Hickson. They wanted to go after Kenny Jennings, Josh Wilson. Those are the two guys that they're targeting. A little double move on the outside. Kelly Jennings bites on it, and there goes Dominic Hickson buying for the touchdown.
Hickson's first offensive touchdown of his career. He does have 2 on special teams. So Dominic Hickson getting the start today for the suspended Plaxico Burress, giving the Giants the early lead.
Introducing the...
Did you hear what Michael Strahan said on the pregame show today?
A little bit of inside information right there by the ex-Giant.
Strahan predicting that Dominic Hickson would score a touchdown today.
It goes back to Eli Manning and just having complete confidence in that group of wide receivers. You know, he referenced specifically Steve Smith, and Goose has talked about Kevin Boss, and then Michael Strahan, Dominic Hickson. So, and I just don't feel like it's as big an issue as it would have been last year at this time.
Josh Wilson on the return. Out to the 32 as Matt Hasselbeck returns.
That is good. A few games, but not without Matt Hasselbeck.
They hand it off to Julius Jones. During the commercial, we were told that Hasselbeck's return today would be questionable due to the knee injury he suffered on the first series. And there is Seneca Wallace, the Seahawks.
Well, the big question is going to come when Matt Hasselbeck drops back and has to plant on that knee. And that's when you're going to find out how much he's hurt, guys.
4 receivers set, second down to 9. Hasselbeck plants, he throws, and finds his man, Bobby Ingram, out at the 42-yard line. First and 10 from the 43. This is Jones. Looks to cut it back inside. Gains 5 out to the 48. Barry Cofield, the tackle, as we check in for the first time with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
All right, Giants fans keeping an eye on the NFC East. Philadelphia's Ryan Westbrook with a 9-yard score against the Redskins, but he immediately left the game, went to the sidelines, took his shoulder pads off, and the training staff is looking at him right now as the Eagles have a 7-0 lead. Kenny?
Thanks, Kurt. An early touchdown for Westbrook, who is not 100%, as Kurt mentioned. Off the fake, this is Julius Jones. Antonio Pierce wraps him up, and there's a late flag. Jones gains 2 out to midfield.
A free 15.
From the 35. Hasselbeck's pass is caught at the 29-yard line by Deion Branch. A gain of 6. Has not complained about all of the injuries, and has done a terrific job leading this football team. Second and 4, Julius Jones. Jones picks up another Seahawks first down to the 21.
He followed it up with 140 in St. Louis.
From the 21 on first down. Hasselbeck's pass is incomplete. There's a flag off the hands of Deion Branch.
He might have got hurt again.
Two tight ends, T.J. Duckett in the backfield. Hasselbeck with time, can't find anyone. Backpedaling, and then throws it away.
But he's going to have to stay with him.
From the 16, this is Jones, stays on his feet, and works his way down to the 12-yard line.
Moose, you know, having
Starting at right tackle for the first time this season, following a knee injury. 3rd down and 6. Four receivers. Hasselbeck lobs one up, looking for Branch, and Branch turning into a defensive back, knocking it away from Ross, who was in good position for the interception.
And they really let him play on the outside.
30-yard attempt, Olindo Mare. Giants have still not allowed a first-quarter touchdown this season. They hold the Seahawks to 3. About Bradshaw on the return for the Giants. Eli Manning of the Giants offense. They drove 4 plays, 91 yards earlier. We'll be back. 4-yard run during the Giants' opening drive, and then Manning with a 42-yard touchdown pass to Dominic Hickson. The end around to Hickson. And Hickson picks up a first down. Across the 40, tackled from behind by Rocky Bernard after gaining 15 yards.
But again, it's Rich Seibert that really gets this play started. Watch him, he's going to be your left guard. He's going to kick out. Here he comes. Here comes Snee and Seibert again, just to get Kelly Jennings to have to go upfield. Doesn't get a whole lot on him, but he doesn't allow him to dip back inside. Kelly played that play pretty well, was in position, but because Rich Seibert is very athletic at the guard, he didn't let him get in to get on that tackle.
On first down, Manning to the outside, and the catch is made by the Giants' all-time leading receiver, Amani Toomer, who again
very well in both spots.
Now Madison Hedgecock in at fullback. 2nd down and 6 from the 44. Manning steps up and throws, and it's caught for a first down in Seahawks territory by Amani Toomer. His 2nd reception, a gain of 22 yards.
Well, we've seen a couple of big runs by Brandon Jacobs already, but right here he shows you how complete he is with his pass protection on Lofa Tatupu. Watch him step up. He gets a shot, but he doesn't give up right there. If he doesn't come back, if he throws and he's off of his feet, he allows Lofa Tatupu to get back on the play. But because he stayed on his feet and struck a blow, he was able to get back and protect Lofa Tatupu from getting some more pressure on Eli.
Manning perfect, 4 for 4 today. From the Seahawks 34, this is Jacobs. And Jacobs steamrolls over to Tupu, down to the 31.
linebacker, fullback, tailback combination. Look at right here, 6'4", 264. Now Lofa Tatupu, who's the middle linebacker, who's tough as nails, only 6'2", 242. I mean, just look at the size difference. When you see Brandon Jacobs on the field from down here, he towers over people. He's just right there with his offensive lineman size-wise.
And usually when you hear a hybrid running back, you think fullback, tailback mix like a Mike Allstott. Brandon Jacobs is hybrid between tight end and tackle.
Manning in trouble on 2nd and 8. He finds Toomer. Penalty marker down as Amani Toomer takes it all the way to the Seahawks 3.
Well, Marcus Trufant is pointing that it's against the Giants, and Amani Toomer is pointing that it's against the Seahawks.
Holding number 27 on the defense. Foul is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Jordan Babineau, the guilty Seahawk. Toomer gains 29 yards.
There's Amani Toomer coming out of the slot. Good job by Jordan Babineau at the release. That's a little picky for me. He's got his hands on him, but I don't know. They're really calling it tight on the outside. All these receivers and these cornerbacks, you have to understand right now, these officials are calling this very tight in the secondary.
Hickson in the slot. 1st and goal from the 3. Jacobs running behind Hedgecock. Touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the season for Jacobs. Giants reach the end zone on their first 2 drives today. John Carney adds the extra point. 14-3 Giants. Eli Manning 3 for 3 during the Giants scoring drive. All 3 receptions made by Amani Toomer.
And a big one we're going to show you here in a second. Tony Siragusa very impressed with Eli Manning in the pocket. Mexico Burris, especially how he played last season on that ankle. I mean, it was inspirational at times when we did some of their games and watched him. But I think this year, because of the depth at wide receiver and the confidence that Eli has, it wasn't going to be as big a factor.
Josh Wilson on the return. Across the 25.
It's going to break, contain, and run for 10 yards. Eli has that great feel of just a little sidestep to buy him a little extra time to make those throws.
First and 10 from the 25-yard line. Julius Jones. Jones out to the 27.
Time, nothing real flashy, but very efficient offensively.
They gained over 400 yards each of their last 2 games. Hasselbeck rolling right. Catch is made by Ingram, but he's tackled by Ross.
You don't want them to be able to zone in on a specific area.
Grant split to the left. Ingram in the slot. Third down and 5. Hasselbeck looking for McMullen. Corey Webster on the coverage.
McMullen, your quarterback's gutting it out here, and you're coming out of your break awful soft. You know, that's inexcusable.
McMullen, the former Eagle and Viking, was in training camp this year with the Redskins. Ryan punting from his own 20. Angled away from the quarters. The Portage takes it on the run at the 31. Tiptoeing up the sidelines. And he stepped out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Years now for the Cubs. Man.
100 and counting. Off the play fake to Ward. Manning going deep for Hickson. And Dominic Hickson makes the catch. Hickson was ruled down. A 41-yard pass play from Manning to Hickson.
We'll have to take a look and see if Dominic Hickson got Josh Wilson to bite on something like he did earlier with Kelly Jennings. Here's the other part of the equation they wanted to go after. That's just a blown coverage right there. Josh Wilson turned him loose to the inside, thought he had help, and then he's already beat. He's hustling back there to try and catch up. Makes the tackle, but that was a blown coverage in those first 2 or 3 steps.
Why is Wilson in the game? Jennings suffered a concussion during the last series. First and 10. On the 18. Derek Ward's first carry. Had a big game, 80 yards on the ground against the Bengals 2 weeks ago.
Brandon Mebane had a great push on that. Actually ran right, the defensive, the offensive lineman right into the running back there. Man, nowhere to go for Brandon Jacobs.
His peers around the NFC start to recognize that because he plays at a very high level all season.
Second down and 11. Derek Ward remains the lone back. Manning fires. Catch is made by Steve Smith. Tackled at the 11 by Josh Wilson after picking up 8.
And there's the receiver that Eli Manning kind of single first downs and give that offense 3 more chances.
Back at Giant Stadium, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. We begin the second quarter. Third down and 3. Giants from the Seahawks 11. Manning to the end zone. Off the hand of Toomer.
Just in an area, know and have the confidence that he's going to go up and get it.
John Carney from 29 yards out. He hit the game winner in overtime in the Giants' last game against the Bengals. Extends the lead to 14. The Giants looking to keep their 3-0 record intact. There is Super Bowl hero David Tyree.
He's always got something stuck to the top of his head, huh?
Wonder if it's Velcro. Goose should throw a ball his way. See what happens.
See if it sticks.
Yeah.
Tell you what. Greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
You know, but everybody forgets the scramble by Eli Manning on that play. We focus on the catch, but what he didn't even get that ball off was amazing.
Josh Wilson has had a busy first half.
All right, here we go.
His fourth return, he's still on his feet. And is finally tackled. Tuck opened many eyes during the Super Bowl when he sacked Tom Brady twice. Ryan punting for the third time.
Not too
Out
good.
of bounds at the 28. The 10 Giants from their own 27. 3 wide receivers set. Off the fake to Jacobs. Manning to a wide open Steve Smith. He lost his shoe and he makes the catch.
He's so quick his shoe can't even keep up with him. Eli has so much confidence that his players are going to be in the right spots at the right time. He's able to turn the ball loose. Even when Steve Smith blows a tire, he gets out there to the right spot.
He got one sock down and one cleat down in bounds.
That counts, though.
19-yard pass play. From the 46. Manning to the outside to the fullback Hedgecock. Penalty marker in the defensive secondary.
That was a pretty nice throw for a shoulder injury, I'll tell you.
So Rodgers gutting it out, making his 5th consecutive start. Brett Favre, of course, who plays in this stadium with the Jets, never missed a start for the Packers from '92 through 2007.
No, and we've got another case of a quarterback gutting it out today, and that's Matt Hasselbeck. You know, challenged the first few games because of the injuries at the wide receiver position. Hurts his knee on the opening drive, but he's out there battling. He's got to have some of his teammates kind of take a look at him and what he's doing today and step up and elevate their level of play.
Nice run by Jacobs, who picks up a first down on 2nd and 9. Takes it down to the Seahawks 38-yard line.
Sometimes it's just not fair, Goose. I mean, 6'4", 264 that can turn the corner like that.
Lofa the Tubo had a little bit of a head start. He had like a 10-yard running start on Brandon Jacobs. But I think Brandon Jacobs liked that hit. I think he's going to get meaner because of it.
Yeah, I think Lofa the Tubo liked it too. That's the old saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
There you go.
From the 38 on first down. First NFL reception for the rookie out of Michigan, Mario Manningham, who did not play in the Giants' first 3 games, and the second-round draft pick gained 7.
They didn't know if they were going to have Mario this week because he was battling a flu bug early in the week, was actually even in the hospital overnight trying to figure out what was wrong. So good to see him just on the practice field Friday when we got into town.
Tell you what, this league's going back to old school, Moose. Guys getting hurt, getting back in there. Flu's not keeping anybody out. I like seeing that stuff.
2nd down and 3. Jacobs about a yard shy of a first down. Goose, tell me about some of the bigger sized running backs that you hated playing against, guys that you had trouble taking down.
I'll tell you what, just when you talk about a big running back, you got to talk about the bus in Pittsburgh. I mean, you know, he would just be, you know, when you had to go and fill in a hole real quick, he would just be the big guy coming in there. You didn't want to get a shoulder tackle on him because he would take your arm and your shoulder and you find it in the end zone. Just a big guy. That's one of the big guys I always liked hitting them.
And Goose's entire body is just behind the end zone today. 3rd down and 1.
All intact.
Jacobs up the middle, first down.
And we talked at the top that this Seattle defense was going to have to get off the field on 3rd downs. Believe it or not, that's only the 2nd 3rd down they have had this afternoon. The New York Giants have 17 points, but they've only been in 2 3rd down situations. So now the real issue for the Seattle defense, they've got to stop giving up the chunks of yardage. 6 15-plus yard plays by this Giants offense so far. They're avoiding 3rd downs by converting on 1st and 2nd.
Jacobs. Jacobs down to the 21 as the chess match continues between Manning and Tutupu.
We highlighted Matt Hasselbeck versus Antonio Pierce, but we shouldn't have slighted Lofa Tutupu and Eli Manning. What are you going to do? Okay. Okay, now my guys move. Now your guys move. I don't know, Goose. I'm kind of from the, you mentioned old school. I'm kind of, you know what, we're going to call a play. We're going to come up to the line of scrimmage. We're going to run it. Let's see if you can stop it.
I'll tell you what, especially when you got Jacobs in the backfield, I mean, you got to feel pretty comfortable about running the ball. I don't care who's on defense.
Second and 6, Manning dumps it off to Ward. And Derek Ward dives towards the marker and picks up a first down.
Boy, Eli is doing a great job of spreading the football around to everybody. Wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. Here comes Derek Ward, slips up into the middle. Just check it down him. Watch Steve Smith come in right here. A good hustle. Crackback block on Lofa Tutupu allows Derek Ward to get that opportunity to stretch it out for the first down.
That's just awareness you can't go and coach. You got to know where that marker is to go and get the first down. Derek Ward does a great job of extending his body and getting that first down for the Giants.
Manning 10 for 11. He's hit 6 different targets from the Seahawks 14. Off the hands of Hitchcock.
Oh,
go ahead, Moose. Fullback.
Oh, they brought two, Tony.
You would have thought it, right?
Oh, and without a doubt. But I'm 6'4", like Brandon Jacobs.
Okay.
Manning fires on 2nd and 10. The catch is made by Hickson. And Dominic Hickson is tackled just shy of the goal line.
Man, Hickson is having a day, isn't he?
It's all about the landmarks, Goose. I just talking to Eli Manning on Friday and just sensing the confidence that he had in this entire group. And it's not just about their abilities that they bring, but the understanding of the offense and being at the right depth, being in the right spot, that he can drop back and just turn that ball loose. You don't see Eli Manning holding the ball as much as you did last season.
First and goal. Jacobs over the top. Touchdown.
He's got a little finesse there too, Moose.
Can you have finesse at 6'4", 264?
You can have whatever you want at 6'4", 260. He goes and gets the ball, very aware where the line, this scrimmage is, gets by it, puts it up. There you go, right across the goal line. That's all you got to do. You see the guy in the background there putting his hands up, the official. That's all you need.
Second touchdown of the game for Jacobs. Giants have scored on their first 4 possessions. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. They lead the Seahawks 24-3.
All right, you're shipping. All right, you're shipping. What are you doing here? Well, I'm proving a point, which is...
Chart, it really doesn't matter where they're starting. A 91-yard drive, 75, 48, 73. And the amazing thing on those scoring drives, they've been in 3rd down twice. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, this Seahawks defense, we don't even have to worry about 3rd down because, you know, we thought that was going to be a big point. The Giants are converting on 1st and 2nd. They're never even getting to 3rd.
Josh Wilson tackled at the 30 by the first-round pick of the Giants, Kenny Phillips. To the right. Hasselbeck on first down to a wide-open Bobby Ingram. And Ingram has a first down. Out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 15.
Mike Holmgren's big concern was that this Giant defense would get Seattle on their heels. Now,
waiting the winner of that series as Jones is forced back.
The defensive coordinator bringing the blitz a little bit more often to pressure those quarterbacks.
3 wide receivers, 2nd down and 11. Hasselbeck getting rid of it quickly to Ingram. And Ingram gaining 5 out to midfield. James Butler and Antonio Pierce. Seahawks must get to the 44. Hasselbeck throws. Intended for the former Panther and Bronco Kerry Colbert. Kevin Duck, one of the wide receivers brought in following the start of this 2008 season. Prior to Denver a couple of weeks ago. McQuarters from the 10. And McQuarters takes it out.
His substitution, Dominic Hickson, is having a great day. A little bit of everything. He's got a touchdown catch, a nice run on the reverse right there. Good concentration to finish that play. Gets this one down to the 1-yard line. Big smiles.
Only 7 career catches coming into the game today. Derek Ward on first down. Ward breaks through to the 29, a gain of 5. You know, we talked to Tom Coughlin about the Plaxico Burress situation. He said it was in the best interest of our team and Plaxico. He must understand responsibility, and he cannot be treated any differently than anybody else on the roster.
No, all the rules apply to everybody in that locker room. And Plaxico Burress seemed to be content to pay the fine and kind of break some of the rules. So Tom Coughlin decided, it hurts, I'm going to sit him down for a game. And he's not going to have the opportunity to go out and play on a Sunday. Hopefully he understands how lucky he is to be able to play in the NFL.
Patrick Kearney with the sack of Eli Manning. The ball came loose, and the Giants able to recover. Kearney with his 4th sack of the season. He had 14.5 last year.
Coming around the outside. You can't get lulled to sleep by Patrick Kearney, Goose. He's one of those guys where that motor never slows down. Kevin Booth in there.
In the game for Kareem McKenzie, who was experiencing dizziness earlier and has gone to the Giants locker room. McKenzie there starting right tackle. Manning on 3rd and 9, complete for a first down. Guess who? Dominic Hickson, and he took a hard hit and is shaken up.
He did. He got hit in the back of the head.
Hit hard by Josh Wilson after picking up 16.
And watch at the end of this route. Dominic Hickson coming in, running the deep square in right here. Watch Josh Wilson come in and get a good shot right as he's going outside. Actually took it a little bit in the side of the head. I tell you, that's one of the soft spots, Goose. You get hit in the side of the helmet as he goes to spin outside. Boom, right in the... Ooh. Those are tough.
That's a good ding right there, especially when you don't know the guy's coming. Dominic Hickson doesn't know that, you know, he's going to get hit in the helmet like that and then goes down. You know how that feels, Bruce.
Looks like he's got a little bit of a burner to go along with it.
Hickson with his 4th reception. He goes over 100 yards for the first time in his career. Coming into this game, 7 career receptions for a total of 94 yards. So he's eclipsed his career yardage total in 1/2.
Now hopefully he just got his bell rung a little bit. He'll be able to come back out and play in the game. We've already got Kelly Jennings for the Seahawks down with a concussion. There goes the ammonia cap, Goose.
The toss to Derek Ward. And Ward takes it out to the 45-yard line. A gain of 3 as the Giants medical staff. Trainer Ronnie Barnes back of the screen. Continue to work on Dominic Hickson.
Yeah, it looks more.
2nd down and 7. The fullback Hedgecock split out to the right. Play clock at 2. Manning on 2nd and 7. It's caught for a first down by Sonoris Moss. Only his 2nd catch of the season. So the Giants continuing to get everybody involved. 9-yard pickup by Moss. Wilson made the tackle as we hit the 2-minute warning at the Meadowlands.
At 89 yards and a career high.
Place I'd rather be.
Another long trip from Seattle to the East Coast. Seahawks have not fared well in recent years flying west to east. And they trail the Giants 24-3 as Derek Ward has a first down and more. Ward for the Seattle 24 as he gains 21 yards.
good patience by Derek Ward. He stays downhill north and south. Watch this. He doesn't really vary his path much. Great job by everybody up front. Again, Chris Snead just getting up on low for the Tupu, allowing him to get into the secondary.
Manning on first down to the outside, looking for the tight end boss. Deion Grant on the coverage, so the clock stops a minute 20.
Looks very, very confident.
Eli has never thrown for as many as 215 yards in the first half of any game. Giants averaging over today. The screen to Ward. And Ward tackled at the 22-yard line after a gain of 3.
That's the staggering stat, over 10 yards per play. And that's why the Seattle defense, we're looking at third down is to be the critical area. It's really been first and second down, and the Giants have just dominated. Their offensive line is opening up running lanes, doing a great job with protection, allowing Eli Manning to stand in.
Third down and 7. Manning complete. Kevin Boss. Boss brought down at the 15, a yard shy of the marker. Gain of 6. Timeout called by the Seahawks. Fans imploring Tom Coughlin and the Giants to go for it. As the clock is reset to 52 seconds.
Bringing the big man, Goose. Little play fake to the inside and throwing into the end zone.
Yeah, Kevin Boss, we talked about it in the open. He is the target. He's a big man, can catch the ball, got his big body. When you get into the end zone there, like you see Kevin Boss, you can go and use that to go and move in front of people and go and find your little niche there to go and have the ball thrown to you. But looks like they're taking him out now and going for the field goal, huh?
Yeah, well, you got Brandon Jacobs, you got a big back, your offensive line's playing great, but this is just the Giants football. 3 points, doesn't matter that it's 24-3, we're going to get 3 more.
33-yard attempt. Carney from the right hash. Ron Carney 2 for 2 today, has now hit 17 in a row over the last 2 seasons. Giants have scored on their first 5 possessions for the first time in 3 years. Well, October baseball is up. 15 are the Giants in their history following the bye week. Seahawks were off as well, and they are only 2-7 following the bye under Mike Holmgren.
Something had to give this afternoon. The Giants going back a little bit further through a couple of different coaches, but
Carney's kickoff has caught a pass for Seattle today. Until now, Julius Jones. And Jones takes it down to the Giants 39, and the Seahawks call timeout. 13 yards from Hasselbeck to Jones. Jones shaken up at the end of the play.
Julius Jones turns the corner on the screen, cuts back inside.
His head hit the turf?
That's what it kind of looked like to me. Or maybe with Antonio Pierce kind of landing on top of him, got the wind knocked out of him.
.342 yards now for the Giants, most in the first half by any team in the NFL this season.
Just on the ball, pass the ball. Seattle just not able to get on track offensively.
From the 39, Hasselbeck to the outside, it's Ingram. Bobby Ingram with his 5th catch. Second down and 5. 4 receivers set. Hasselbeck able to get rid of it. There's a flag. Pass intended for Billy McMullen, incomplete. Seahawks with 1 timeout remaining. They empty the backfield. 1st and 10 from the Giants 19. And Hasselbeck. for the Seahawks. 18 seconds to go in the half. From the 19. Hasselbeck looking end zone. It was intended for 5 receivers. Empty backfield from the 19 on second down. Hasselbeck in trouble. Down he goes. There is a flag. Hasselbeck brought down by Dave Tollefson.
Downfield, I think that penalty saved this opportunity for the Seattle Seahawks.
But right now, do you think they would have had time for one more play?
Oh, this 7 seconds? Boy, you're right on the fringe. It's about, you're right around the 6-7 second area from around the 12-yard line.
29-yard attempt. Mare, it is good.
That penalty gave him 3 extra points.
2 face mask penalties called on the Giants. The last one on Tollefson, and Mare hits. So the Giants lead, Goose, is now 27-6. Quite a turnaround from the last game between these teams, and we spoke with both coaches about it back in 2006. The Seahawks led that game at halftime down 35-3.
And the team that goes on the road in this matchup has not been doing well.
First half will come to an end as Bradshaw falls on it. So 35-3 Seahawks at the half of their last meeting. Today, it's 27-6 Giants. Eli Manning 15 of 18, Giants 342 yards of offense. The Visa halftime report is next. Kickoff, and the second half is underway. Ahmad Bradshaw takes a knee, 5 yards.
Eli Manning is at a point in his career right now where he's as confident as he's ever been. It's just getting back and turning the ball loose.
Manning hands it off to Brandon Jacobs on first down. Jacobs with 78 yards on the ground and 2.
But also Brandon Jacobs and Derek Ward doing a good job out of the backfield, and then also Kevin Boss at the tight end spot.
Second down and 6. Here's Jacobs. Jacobs found a big hole out to the 32-yard line. Picks up a first down. Giants, by the way, still without their right tackle Kareem McKenzie. Suffered some dizziness in the first half, so Kevin Booth out of Cornell has remained in at right tackle for the Giants. From the 32, off the play fake to Jacobs. Manning with loads of time, airing it out, looking for Sonoris Moss. He makes an adjustment, but unable to make the catch. Marcus Trufant on the coverage, no flags.
In the first half, I think that one would have been PI in the first half, Goose.
Second and 10, Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs into Seahawks territory, and he's brought down by Brian Russell at the Seattle 30-yard line. 38 more yards for Jacobs.
When you play against a back the size of Brandon Jacobs, you've got to slow him down in the backfield. You can't let him get going downhill. Watch this. I don't think he's touched. Nobody yet. Nobody yet. I mean, he is untouched until he's, what, 30 yards downfield?
There's that offensive line again. Rich Seibert does a great job on low for the Tupu, getting him out of the way. And then after the linebackers, Brandon Jacobs free and clear to get into that secondary. And if you're a defensive back, the last person you want to see running the ball scot-free is Brandon Jacobs.
And now a nice run by Derek Ward, who's cut down by Josh Wilson after. Second and 2, Ward remains in the backfield. Eli, a pump fake. Now he throws. Moss, touchdown!
He is in the zone right now, Goose. He is absolutely in the zone. Eli Manning pumps and looks off Brian Russell, and that leaves Sonoris Moss wide open down the seam.
First National Football League touchdown for Sonoris Moss. The Giants have scored on all 6 possessions.
Brian Russell, the safety, got moved off his spot by Eli Manning with a great work with a pump fake and his eyes, and that allowed Sonoris Moss to get down the inside seam uncovered for the touchdown catch.
Moss in his third season out of Miami. The brother of Washington Redskins wideout Santana Moss, who has had some big games in this stadium. Former member of the New York Jets, Sonoris. Santana's brother with his first NFL touchdown. Josh Wilson on the return. Stopped just shy of the 30.
With his eyes and the pump fake. Watch as he comes back right here. Dominic Hickson's out to that side. There's a pump fake, the eyes. Last second comes back to the middle of the field. He moved Brian Russell completely off the spot. There he comes, there he goes. You see him bite on the left side of your screen. By the time he reacted to where the ball was going, he could not get back. He's dropping back into the deep half position. His initial steps took him to his right on the pump fake in Eli's eyes, and he could never recover.
First and 10 from the 30. Hasselbeck firing downfield. A diving attempt.
Heels at times they've looked that way, but they've just been a step later. Just a little breakdown here or there.
Julius Jones found a hole and gains 8 as the Miami Dolphins looking for their second win. Another big day for Ronnie Brown. Third down and 2. Terrific job by the Giants defensive unit stopping the fullback Leonard Weaver. 2 yards shy of a first down.
Just got a report from the Giants. Dominic Hickson and Kareem McKenzie, both with concussions, will not return in the game today, guys.
All right, thanks, Goose. So for Plexico Burris, 4 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Right tackle Kareem McKenzie, as Goose reported, will not return as well. Ryan put a little too much.
Those guys are crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Goose, I would have thought that you at some point would break into the top 45. Giants start from their own 20. Manning to the outside, broken up. Wilson. Second and 10, Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs out to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 6. Julian Peterson finally made the tackle. Brandon Jacobs, a couple of first-half touchdowns. As Goose mentioned, Giants are...
That next step as a running back. Yeah, he's a big guy, downhill guy. But Lofa Tatupu thought that he was running with a little bit more agility, turning the corner, you know, a little bit of a cutback guy now.
Manning on 3rd and 4 to the tight end Boss. But he's tackled by Deion Grant just shy of our yellow first down line. So for the first time today, a look at Jeff Fiegels, who is also the holder on field goals and extra points for the Giants, but this will be his first punt of today's game.
I hope he's been staying warm over on that net. Just getting up and down on holding on the extra points and field goals.
Fiegels' kick bounces out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Giants over the Seahawks, 34-6. To 6. Seahawks start from their own 31. This is Julius Jones. Jones tackled after a short gain by Barry Cook.
Physically for him too. Matt Hasselbeck opening drive hurts his knee. Deion Branch just getting back after ACL surgery in the offseason. Julius Jones looks like he came hard on that shoulder. So it's been a tough day all around for these Seattle Seahawks and Mike Holmgren.
On that play we just saw, Branch suffered a right foot injury. He will not return today. Hasselbeck's pass is caught by Ingram, and Bobby Ingram takes it down to the Giants' 45-yard line, his 6th reception.
Defense and special teams, the way everything coordinates together. I think they are playing as the best team in the NFL.
Jones takes it down to the 42, the former Cowboy. We continue talking about throwing the football.
Yeah, something ridiculous. With 17 touchdowns and 18 throws or something crazy like that.
Seahawk fans do not want to be reminded about the touchdown pass Randall L. threw in the Super Bowl against Seattle back in 2006. Ingram makes the
Just continuous smart football all afternoon long.
Third down and 5. Seahawks are 0 for 6 on third down today. Hasselbeck backpedaling. Rolling right, directing traffic. He throws and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23-yard line and brought back by Kevin Dockery. Dockery still on his feet inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 32-yard line. The third career interception for Dockery, his first this season, and he returns it 45 yards.
You know, Goose, there's a great example of when I talk about a team, the New York Giants being the best team in the NFL, I want you to watch the hustle by the other 10 guys on this defense when Kevin Dockery intercepts this ball. They're spread out all over the field. Watch them all get into a point to try and make blocks to spring him for a touchdown. Everybody's moving, everybody's around there, everybody's trying to do something. He's trying to get a caravan lined up, everybody's working. They're just a great team.
And you see the same thing on offense, too, with plays, running plays like right here. When they're downfield and running plays, I've never seen so many offensive linemen around the ball on a 10 or 12-yard run downfield. Usually those guys make their block, and then they jog down, but not here on this team. Both sides of the ball, great hustle. And like you said, Moose, guys are getting hurt, banged up. They lost OCU Manure, Michael Strahan. It's just like, you know, one guy goes down, the next guy comes in. And that makes the team better and better because those guys are getting experience. The guys are backing up.
Manning to Toomer. And I know the word confidence has been used.
They're playing with a chip on their shoulder because remember, these are the defending Super Bowl champions, and yet everybody wants to talk about Dallas and Philadelphia and San Diego and New England as the season started until Tom Brady got hurt.
Jacobs on 3rd and 1. It will depend on the spot. Tom Coughlin said the first publication he picked up this summer had the next year. What does it feel like as a player?
It's hard. It's hard because you know that every Sunday you have to play at a very, very high level. Because if you have one game where you come out...
Everybody wants you to see you lose. It's amazing.
1st and 20 following the penalty. Inside handoff to Ward. Cuts it to the outside. Good second effort by Derek Ward down to the 25. Running behind the offensive line that Darrell and Tony have been talking about.
But you know what? It's the first time we've heard his name all afternoon, and he's out there on the right tackle spot going against Patrick Kearney.
Booth started 14 games for the Oakland Raiders 2 years ago, so he has some experience. 2nd and 15. Manning's pass is caught by Moss. He was ruled down on the tackle by Trufant at the 16-yard line, a gain of 8. We spoke to Brand
Sean O'Hara polling, so yeah, they do. They've got great technique. They're all the same body type.
There's no more communication or a lot of calls out there. You can just look and what you see. Everybody sees the same thing. That's what makes a group good.
Goose, a 35-yard attempt from the right hash. Kearney is 3 for 3. So the Giants extend their lead. It is now 37-6. The two oldest players in the National Football League on the right, the punter/holder, 42-year-old Jeff Eagles. On the left, John Kearney at 44 has done such a terrific job filling in for Lawrence Tynes, who's expected back very soon.
He's done a great job, and Lawrence Tynes has been able to learn from John Kearney in the meetings and his prep. And it was funny watching Jeff Robinson, the long snapper for the Seahawks. He was talking to Jeff Eagles. I kind of kidded him. He's number 6 on that list. I said, it's got to be fun for you to actually go to a game and not be the oldest guy on the field.
Number 6 just behind Brett Favre, who will turn 39 this Friday. Play their home opener today. Seneca Wallace now in at quarterback for the Seahawks. And Wallace's first pass attempt of the season is caught by Kerry Colbert.
Not afford to have Matt Hasselbeck on the bench.
The toss to Jones. Jones up the middle. Jones out to the 48.
On the field just a few weeks later.
Julius Jones into Giants territory.
Then out to Seattle. So it'll be strange not to see Mike Holmgren patrolling a sideline next season.
3rd down and 10. Wallace in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 45-yard line, Matthias Kiwanuka with his 2nd sack of the season.
And that's a great job by Matthias Kiwanuka, because that's Walter Jones. And a lot of times Seattle, they don't worry about Walter Jones. You know, he gets stuck out there on the island quite a bit by himself. That could be a situation. You saw the big shove by Walter Jones at the end. Seneca Wallace maybe a little bit deeper in his set than Matt Hasselbeck would be. Walter Jones probably thinks that I've got him cleared enough, and then Seneca Wallace is just a little bit deeper.
Every quarterback has their depth there. I was just going to say that Seneca Wallace needs to step up into the pocket and let Kiwanuka be pushed by that.
Good punt by Ryan. McCorders looking for running room. And RW finds some. Not out of bounds. 12, a 44-yard punt. David Hawthorne made the tackle. Manning's day is done. David Carr now in at quarterback for the Giants, the former first overall draft pick back in 2002 by the Houston Texans. He started 79 games in the National Football League with Houston and Carolina. The toss to Ahmad Bradshaw. And Bradshaw picks up the first down. Gain of 11 out to the 34-yard line.
Continued entirely through that first half.
Bradshaw with teammates. The fathers of today's starting quarterback. Second down and 11. Carr handing it off. Bradshaw. And he's bottled up. Julian Peterson made the tackle. It was back in 1984. Archie Manning and Don Hasselbeck, teammates with the Vikings, and their kids would run around the practice facility. Eli was 3 at the time. Peyton was 8. Matt Hasselbeck, 9. Tim Hasselbeck, former backup with the Giants, former starting quarterback in Washington, is here today as well. Matt's younger brother, who now works in our business.
How about that, though? If you're a player on that team in '84 in Minnesota, and you look around, there's a couple of kids running around wreaking havoc at practice, and many years down the road, they're all 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Carr's first pass as a Giant. There's a flag on the play. Manningham was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Pass interference, number 23 on the defense, automatic first down.
Marcus Trufant.
Well, you mentioned about David Carr and how many starts he has in the NFL, where he came from as a draft pick for the Houston Texans. And it's one of those things that the Giants did in the offseason. And please don't take this as a knock on Jared Lorenzen or Anthony Wright, but I think they really shored up their backup quarterback position. David Carr, I think he was in a situation desperately. I mean, the Houston Texans, you know, a franchise just getting underway.
Went to the Colts. David Carr, as he hands it off to Bradshaw once again. Bradshaw stays on his feet. Bradshaw inside the 20, the 15, finally down at the 7.
He just doesn't want to go down, guys. Spinning, jumping, doing whatever he needs to, lowering the shoulder. He just running through arm tackles. We talked about it earlier. You don't want to arm tackle a big guy, but I'll tell you what, you don't want to arm tackle a guy like this. He'll make you look like a fool.
Guys, remember, we saw Bradshaw run 88 yards for a touchdown last
Through and goes the distance, and you know, added a different dimension as they got into the playoffs.
Here's Bradshaw again. Bradshaw down to the 5. You know, he saw what Brandon Jacobs did in the first half. Bradshaw out.
Does Bradshaw win or fire?
Bradshaw's fire.
Yeah, I would think.
Carr to the end zone. Touchdown. Sonoris Moss with his second touchdown of the game.
Well, we talked about this Giant group being, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team, when you talk about how they function together in all 3 phases. And that's great evidence right there. David Carr comes in on the drive, and these guys don't miss a beat. Great effort by Ahmad Bradshaw on the long run. Sonoris Moss on another touchdown catch. But the other 10 guys just, hey, buckle the chin straps, let's get out there, and let's do it again.
Giants scored 41 points week 2 in St. Louis. They have 44 today.
Begins in January.
Moss with a pair of touchdown receptions today. The Giants with over 500 yards of offense for the first time since January of 2002 in a game against the Green Bay Packers.
They have been rolling, just very, very efficient. And there's a classic example. Eli Manning takes his curtain call, goes to the sideline. David Carr comes in. They don't miss a beat. They go right down the field and score another touchdown.
Josh Wilson on the return for the Seahawks. Bounces it to the outside, looks to cut back the other way. And is tackled at the 22. Well, pass earlier. Seahawks back in offense, 9:15 remaining.
That's the funnest time of the day.
Here's Jones.
Have you ever seen somebody explode that's drank too much water?
No, but I felt like I was going to explode one time when I drank too much water.
There's McQuarters. Let me write that down, Goose. The official is always right. Is that your philosophy?
Well, do as I say, not as I do.
Right there in the middle. He's up towards the front of the pack because Dale Jr. is the leader of the race.
Oh,
right there.
man.
Yeah, tire blows.
Well, he just gets misses the 31. 9 cars involved into the 38.
Look at Bobby Labonte. He's fishing his way through that. I'm telling you, he missed 2 or 3 guys by inches. Then you see Martin Truex had a hard lick on that inside wall.
How did 31 not get hit here? Watch the car come across right to Burton, right there.
Ooh,
My
that was
goodness.
close.
Well, didn't we say in the top of this you had to be lucky? So that's one of those times he was lucky. You see Terry Labonte.
In Super Bowls in the past few years, that great catch by David Tyree. Looked like that football was just stuck to his helmet.
Giants start from their own 27. David Carr's second series. There's another 99. Rocky Bernard. Second and 3. Bradshaw.
A couple of touchdowns, and you know it was funny talking to Eli on Friday. He didn't bat an eye. He said, you know, Plaxico's a great football player. Obviously, we're not as good an offense without him from that improbable Super Bowl run last season.
National League Championship Series beginning this Thursday on Fox. The Los Angeles Dodgers awaiting the winner of the Phillies and the Brewers. Phillies leading today's game 6-1. The Phillies win and they would advance to face the Dodgers, with the winner moving on to the World Series, which could also be seen right here on Fox. Bradshaw looking to cut it back inside. Down to 5.5 remaining. Giants with over 250 yards on the ground today.
Yeah, and the big guy in that running attack is Brandon Jacobs, and today showed me an element of his game that I hadn't really seen before. And, you know, getting ready for the game, you heard some of the comments from Lofa Tatupu, and, you know, he's not just a power runner anymore. I've really seen a change in Brandon Jacobs.
Well, with his offensive line, too, on the same wavelength. He knows where the holes are going to be. He knows who to follow. He knows when he has a puller, who to go behind. I'll tell you what, we got to give a shout out to that offensive line, too, Moose. I'll tell you what, if they get,
you know, all of them, you know, over 6 yards per carry. And this is a good Seattle defense. I mean, this Giant offense didn't just come into the stadium today and kind of beat up on a team that's struggling as a defense. This Seattle defense is pretty good.
1990, they beat the Eagles 27-20 week 1. Then Darrell, sorry to say, it was your Dallas Cowboys in week 2, followed by a 20-3 win over the Miami Dolphins. And then the Cowboys again. 2 wins over Dallas the first 4 weeks. Giants starting 4-0 in 1990. They have not done it since.
Oh, that was a good football team, that Giant team back in 1990. That defense, my goodness.
Whew. Tom Coughlin will also defeat Mike Holmgren for the first time in 6 tries.
And
Cowboys twice, the Eagles twice, the Redskins twice, including 3 playoff wins, 2 over Washington, 1 over Dallas. This is T.J. Duckett. So the center is Janice Casaza. Studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons, as Wallace hands it off to Duckett. The supervisor of remote field operations, Jerry Steinberg. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producer in Stadium today. with 3 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Wallace complete to Michael Bumpus, the rookie out of Washington State. And he's wrestled down by the combination of Sammy Knight and Danny Clark.
Seattle Seahawks and their record on the East Coast to have to go to Tampa and to Miami. Pretty tough.
I don't know how they do it with traveling all the way across the country. I mean, you know, Moose, me and you have to travel. You have to travel a lot more than I do.
44-6 Giants. Los Angeles Dodgers awaiting on Thursday with Joe Buck and Tim McCarver on Fox. Wallace. Pass incomplete and touch from the soccer field.
Breaking it down.
We're down in 6. Duckett. As the clock continues to wind down, as we head to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Time one.
Jim Zorn.
You know, I think Howie hit it right on the head in the pregame show. Jason Campbell gets the season so far for the Redskins.
Redskins with a win today would go to 4-1. They host St. Louis next Sunday. We will be there down in Landover, Maryland. Deion Branch, Bobby Ingram returned for the Seahawks today, but Branch suffered a right foot injury. Big first half for Dominic Hickson. He left with a concussion. Giants with 525 yards of total offense. A pair of rushing touchdowns for Brandon Jacobs. Sonoris Moss with the first 2 touchdowns of his career. As David Carr takes a knee, the Giants remain the only NFC team without a loss this season. It's their largest margin of victory since November of '72, when they put up 62 on the Eagles.
And we've talked about a lot of superlatives today for this Giant offense, and one of the reasons, and you know, Leroy Hill for the Seattle Seahawks said one of the most important things for us to do during this game is to get off on third down, give that offense some more opportunities. They rarely got to third down. This Giant offense just ripping off huge chunks of yards on first and second down all afternoon.
Giants 4-0 start for the first time since 1990. Seahawks dropped to 1-3. Time permitting, we will take you to the conclusion of the Eagles and the Redskins. Washington leading the game 23-17. All Giants today. 44-6 over the Seahawks. Will return in a moment.